We are now talking about how to don and doff your PPE and SCBA. First, you're going to put your boots on and pull up your protective pants, placing the suspenders over your shoulders and securing the front of your pants. Next, you're going to put on your protective coat and close the front of the coat. She has also placed her protective hood over her head and down her neck to ensure that it is tucked in her coat properly. She is now placing her helmet on her head and adjusting all straps securely. Lastly, we never want to forget to put on our gloves. She's now putting on her gloves and making sure that all her equipment is on properly. For doffing equipment, she will remove her gloves. She's going to release the helmet chin strap and remove her helmet. She's going to open the collar of her protective coat and remove her protective coat. She's also going to remove her protective hood and start removing her protective pants and boots and set everything in a ready state. Donning an SCBA. You always want to check whether the air cylinder pressure gauge is at least 90% of its rated pressure. If the SCBA has an air saving or donning switch, confirm that it is activated to prevent air from flowing. You want to make sure everything is in place before turning on any oxygen so it doesn't seep through any cracks or anything on the device. You're going to open the air cylinder valve 2 or 3 turns, listen for the low air alarm to sound, and then open the valve fully. Test the pass device, check the remote pressure gauge and the air cylinder pressure gauge. The reading for these gauges should be within 10% of each other. He has now placed his mask on his face. He's doing tests to make sure that all is well. He's checking his pass alarm and letting it go off to first and second. He's now placing the regulator on his face and ensuring that oxygen is seeping right through as it's supposed to be. He will now remove the regulator, place it back in the holder, and begin to turn off the air cylinder. You want to check all valves to ensure that they are in the correct position. An open regulator purge bypass valve will want air. After everything is done, you put it back in the ready state. You first want to open the main cylinder gauge. Lay out the SCBA that the cylinder is resting on the floor or ground. The back plate is facing up. In this video, he starts with it facing down on the ground to ensure that everything is in place first. He's going to fully open the main air cylinder valve, activate the air saver and donning switch to prevent the flow of air if needed. He's now ensuring that his mask works perfectly, and since his first alarm went off, that means he's 30 seconds in. He's now going to put up his protective hood around the seal of his mask ensuring that no skin is showing just in case of any high temperatures that he will be facing. He will put on his helmet and ensure that all straps are done up properly, and always make sure to have straps loosened before putting on the mask because it does get a little bit tighter. He's now going to turn around his SCBA so the back plate is facing up towards him and he can easily grab it. He's going to bend down and grasp the SCBA back plate with both hands, using your knees to support and lift the extra weight. Lift the SCBA up and over your head. Once the SCBA is clear, you're going to rotate it 180 degrees so that the waist belt straps are pointed towards the ground. After fastening all of your straps very tightly, you are able to be steady and you can stand up. You can now place your regulator on your mask and ensure that everything has been done properly. Now for taking off SCBA, you're first going to remove the regulator, put it back in its holder. You next can loosen the straps if needed, and you normally will place down the air cylinder on the ground delicately. You will now take off your helmet if needed, and you can continue to doff all your protective equipment. He is now making sure everything is in its ready state.